G'day people. I'm doing a 14-part series on the findings of a road safety audit for the Eric Street shared path. Now, this audit was commissioned by the Town of Cottesloe back in 2023, was finished in July, I think, went to Council in October for them to consider it. Now, as soon as it was published, the Subiaco Post seized on the audit findings and published this article saying that the audit slams danger cycle path. And they cited a number of the findings, including this one about the pedestrian crossing facilities at the Marmion Street roundabout. Now, I tried writing around this, talking to it. It was much too difficult to explain what was going on. So I'm just going to read straight from the report and show you the video as I go. So, the pedestrian crossing facilities at the Marmion Street roundabout are not as per MRWA, that's Main Roads Western Australia, standard, as they do not follow the ramp alignment and missing tactile ground surface indicators. Justification. Crossing roads is particularly difficult for people with disabilities, and this can inhibit them from moving about on the street system. People with limited or no vision have difficulty identifying where to cross, and people in wheelchairs and those with limited mobility sometimes have trouble moving on and off crossings or completing a crossing in the time available. This increases the risk of conflict with vehicles and may result in fatal or serious injury. Yes, getting hit by a car in a wheelchair would not be good. The lack of consistent facilities for people with a disability can lead people with reduced cognitive and mobility abilities to areas where they can then be stranded due to lack of continuity. Curb ramps should be designed in accordance with MRWA standard drawing 9831-5649 for type A curb ramps, and standard drawing, yeah, you get the thing. Tactile ground surface indicators are essential in assisting people with vision impairment to safely cross roads. It is a DDA requirement for all pedestrian curb ramps to be provided with TGSIs. They're those little bumpy things that you see at the ramps as we go along. In accordance with the Department of Transport's Planning and Designing for Pedestrians guidelines, and a whole bunch of stuff, and Australian Standard AS 1428.4. Now, the recommendation that came out of that was pretty simple. Ensure that all curb ramps within the project area are designed in accordance with MRWA design drawings and Australian Standard 1428.1, including the provisions in the TGSIs, whatever those are, in accordance with the DDA requirements, MRAW design standards, and AS 1428.4. All right, that's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? And what did Council think about that particular issue? Well, I think they were broadly in agreement. Now, one thing to note, though, is the scope of a project is usually quite tightly defined, and it has a start and it has a finish. And when they're doing a project like this one, there's going to be a physical boundary around where the project work is going to be done. And I think you can see that as I cross the road where it goes from very new looking cement to old cement. That's the boundary of where the project finishes. So anything outside of that boundary is not actually part of the project. So what Council came back with was they said, yeah, they actually agree. Tactile on the footpath adjacent to the shared path will be added. And they say, scope of the project did not cover upgrade of all pedestrian crossings at the Marmion Street roundabout. Yeah, because this was all about building a shared path, not about upgrading pedestrian crossings, because that's part of the town's footpath upgrade program, completely different project. Anyway, they said U-Rail will be added on the footpath adjoining area, which I think has been done because there's a nice shiny new U-Rail there, and this will be completed as part of the town's footpath upgrade program. So having been through all of that, and you can see that this was actually really nothing to do with the shared path. It was to do with a crossing that comes off the shared path. Do you think this justifies the Subiaco Post saying that this audit slams danger cycle path? And remember, they always describe this as a cycle path. They never call it a shared path because that would mean pedestrians are using the path. But who's going to be going across the crossing? What is this described as in the finding? Described as a pedestrian crossing. So, I wish the Subi Post would just stop trying to be anti-bicycle about everything and come to accept that these shared paths are shared paths. They're there for pedestrians, wheelchair users, the young, the old, people with vision impairments and stuff like that. Scooter riders, skateboard riders, people on those stupid uni ball electric things, and bicycle riders. Anyway, that's the end of this part. We'll move on to another finding in another video. Thanks for watching.